Jared's boy. We're gonna let you start this one, Jared.
Tahj Brooks.
No, dude, let Matt do the intro thing.
Well, yeah, he always does the intro.
Hey, would you let me go already? Quit interrupting.
here? I don't have all that data.
Tahj Brooks, Texas A&M running back,
For
5'9"
Starlink
and a quarter inches.
I'm like,
240. What is going on up
What
there?
is that?
214 pounds.
I love under a basketball court.
Oh, I guess so. 9 1/8 inch hands. 22 years old. He'll be 23 in May. At the combine, he ran a 4.52 in the 40, a 1.56 10-yard split. He actually ran all the other drills too, which was amazing. He had the a really fast 20-yard shuttle, 4.06, and a sweet 3-cone, 6.9.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is very good.
We think it's good. Nobody else ran it, so we have nothing to compare to.
No, it's historical.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Historically,
I'm
those
just
are
teasing.
great numbers. 120-inch broad jump, first in line. In both 35-inch vertical.
He's like, I didn't have a chance to cool down. Let me do it again.
35-inch vertical. Last year at Texas Tech. Fast pass. Fantastic. Last year in 11 games, 286 rushing attempts, 1,505 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns, 28 receptions, 199 yards receiving, and 1 additional touchdown. Texas Tech had the 52nd best or worst, however you want to look at that, glass half full, half empty type of offensive line there, and the yards after contact were 872, which was good for 11th in the country, which is pretty darn good.
Yes, sir. All right. Go ahead, Jared.
yeah, he's Texas Tech's all-time leading rusher, actually, with 4,560 yards. 5'10", 230. I think he's got really, really good size.
I mean, those aren't his numbers. He's 5'9" and a quarter, 214 pounds.
I think he plays. I think he cut. When he ran a 4.5,
I mean, 6'3", 280.
he cut a 3/4 of an inch and 20 pounds. 15 pounds.
No, I think 15.
No,
I think he cut, and that's why he ran a 4.52 because I didn't see 4.52 watching the tape. But
agreed.
he had a good combine. I think that's like his one knock is his speed, his overall speed, and I would say his pass catching ability. But everything else, I have him graded very solidly, and I know we all, for the most part, I'm alone on this from what we've all discussed. But I think he absorbs contact extremely well. He's always falling forward. He always makes the first guy miss. That's one of the top things I highlighted here. I think he has a good dead leg, good elusiveness. Very, very good patience, but it's almost like to the detriment sometimes for him. One of my notes is he can be a little too patient at times where I hope he would just hit the hole and go instead of dancing. But for the most part, I think he is a good decision maker. I think he sees the holes well. I think he sees the creases well, and especially at the second level. He's always fighting for extra yards, kind of like Cam Scattaboo that we were talking about earlier. He's just a fighter, and he had over 100 yards rushing in 19 of 24 games over the last 2 years, and he
1,000 carries. That happens.
And he is one of 3 running backs to have over 3,000 yards the last 2 years. The other 2 are Hampton and Genty. So you don't just get those numbers by not being a good running back. I think he's probably going to be a day 3 pick, but he's going to be a sleeper for me. I think he can contribute to a team, and if he does get the if he does get the potential to have a backfield, I think he could take it. So that's what I thought. Now you guys shit on him.
Yeah. All right. So Jared and I tend to be typically very close in our nerd scores. Like we tend to be within a point typically. So it's funny that the guys that we talk about back to back are the ones that we see.
And I didn't give my score on Giddens, but I had a 65 on him.
Okay. So, well, it's just better than earlier.
By the way,
65.5.
I know. I was looking at the wrong guy.
65.55 for me on Giddens.
Yeah. So we see fairly differently on this one. Tahj is my 6th or 5th worst player in the class at a 66.98. The thing that's weird for me is this is the biggest gap I've ever had between patience and vision, their scores. Usually, like, it's not rare for them to be a half point off, maybe a point off. Some cases, maybe even a point and a half. I have a 3-point difference between the patience and the vision. He's extremely patient. He is an extremely patient player. However, I think it more manifests itself in indecision. And I think that is something that is really, really tough to work out of a guy, to tell him to be more aggressive. He's just not an aggressive runner in that sense. He waits, and he's waiting for the perfect hole to develop. And often the perfect hole isn't there. Sometimes you have to make the play right because the play itself isn't right. And so that makes it really, really tricky for me. Yes, I do think he's a physical player, but that's about it. I did not see the 4.52 on tape at all. Like, I was very, very surprised by that. I think the elusiveness is mediocre.
I think he's pretty good at elusive. Like, he's always making somebody miss every run.
I thought for his size, he can cut pretty good.
I liked his change of directions laterally. I liked his suddenness.
He has a 6.5, so it's slightly above average, but like I don't think it's not one of the better ones in the class.
I thought it was his best attribute.
I think it's his best attribute too.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
All right.
No doubt.
I gave his power his best attribute, but
Yeah, I thought his power was okay. I mean, I'm with you guys on the patience stuff. But I even look at it as, I viewed it differently than patience because it was so consistent. I thought he was just overthinking too much. Like, he was just out there like, and I saw too much of like, it ends just in clutter. Like, even decision where he decides to go, by the time he figures it out, like, there's already 6 linemen or defenders over there. So, I mean, he was solid, but like, it was nothing. And I know, and I went into it like optimistic and spent some time looking because I know it was a player that you liked. You and I talked about him earlier in the day, and I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't something I'm missing. And I couldn't get out of the just 3-4 yards, 3-4 yards, 3-4 yards, nothing special about his game at all. To me, he seems like a nice grinding running back. You get out there first, second down running back for a team, go out there and get it done. But from a dynasty aspect, not a lot of upside here.
I think looking at his numbers, coming right off what you just said there might be something we're missing. Maybe maybe you didn't see the right games or something, because he had 41 rushes of over 10 yards, which was 9th in the country. And he had 26 rushes of over 15 yards, which was 4th. So
I wonder if he was catching the wrong games.
Yeah, I'm guessing you might just be missing some of the times. He did have 1,500 yards. This guy did produce quite a bit. So I do agree that maybe there's.
I'm not talking about that's what I'm saying. Like, the same thing. He's averaging like 4 yards, 5 yards a touch here and there. Like, same thing. Getting there. Nothing too fancy. I said I like his lateral movement, but like, I also think those numbers also accrue from, obviously the big plays don't, but like, he had a lot of touches. Like, he was the main focal point of that offense. So like, he's just getting fed the football. So it just wasn't.
That team sucked.
I have nothing against. He said the 50th best run blocking team line there too. So I'm not trying to say Tahj, like, you have ranked so low, but for me, there's nothing on there that really going to stand out to me and say this guy can produce at the NFL level.
Agree. Yeah, I have him in here as like a situational, like he's going to be a timeshare type of guy in my opinion. And
timeshare for the third running back, Sharon with the second. Just sharing that time.
Not that time.
So what's our bet with Giddens?
But
and, Brooks?
All right. So who gets higher draft capital?
Yeah.
What does the loser have to do?
I don't know. I don't care.
Well,
I was just gonna bet money, but we can do.
We can do it. It's cold hard cash.
All right. No, we'll do something fun. We'll do.
We'll do something with the weekend in New York.
We'll do something fun that we're gonna forget about.
Yeah. You got to take an edible.
Oh boy.
Rich will dose you.
Won't be the last time.
Here you go, Jared. What's this?
Don't ask questions.
But yeah, I don't know.
You're giving Matt flashbacks.
There's
oh, Nick.
The one thing that I don't know that I saw on tape was the power element. That was the one thing. Maybe I got to go back and see that. I didn't see much power.
It's power in the grind it, move the pile forward type of power. Not the like, I'm going to run you over in the open field type.
He's a
power.
grinder.
Okay.
Physicality.
Like, he's always falling forward. He's moving the pile.
Yeah, I just think he's a solid.
It still wasn't like an amazing power score.
Sure. Okay.
All the categories for me were like above a 6 or 7, except for speed and burst. So,
well,
and pass catching, I think I had him at 6. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is one of those things where we're gonna have to wait to find out where he kind of lands, because I see him as a guy that's gonna be a timeshare back. this is on the opposite end of the spectrum for a Travion Henderson, who I think is going to be a guy that's like the 1A. This would be like a 1B at
that seems
best.
to me, and like I'm not
best.
even trying to be funny. Like that seems really optimistic to me.
Sure.
Like he seems more like a 6th round type of pick to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm more with you too. I don't think he
So
brings much to the
you're
table.
you're fighting for a
another
roster
Which is
spot.
funny. So they don't like Giddens at all, but they like Tahj Brooks. We like Giddens a little bit, but we don't like Tahj Brooks at all.
And to be fair, the 1B would be at his peak, his best. So like if you
So you're already backpedaling.
No, I was saying that when you cut me off.
This will just.
I
be
wanted to
another
make sure that it
swing
was-
and miss from them. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's all good.